update, mainly for the Midwest. So if you're in the Midwest, I'll be in high alert as this update is for you. We're going to go ahead and dive into the main details of what to expect as we head throughout your day today and into tonight and into early Tuesday morning. Starting off, this is the radar as of just a few minutes ago, 1:05 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So note if you're in Eastern Daylight Time, that's 2:05 for you guys, but anywhere west of Indiana and Michigan, it's an hour behind. So 1:05 for these areas, 2:05 for again Eastern Daylight Time. But looking right now, you can tell we have the line of storms ongoing from eastern Wisconsin into portions of northwestern Indiana. The storms have already hit Chicago pretty hard, Milwaukee, and now they're advancing towards Grand Rapids pretty soon. It will impact northern parts of Indiana as well, as there is a current severe thunderstorm watch in place for much of Michigan into the northern parts of Indiana. That's going to go until later on this evening, expecting wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour of these storms, a couple tornadoes being possible. We already had one that occurred in Wisconsin. Seems like it was an extremely dangerous tornado that occurred. So looking at that potential being possible with some of these storms as we head throughout your day today, and hail up to about 2 inches being possible with this first line of storms. Now, looking at what to expect in terms of severe storms, right now we do have an enhanced risk in place for much of the Midwest, encompassing southeastern parts of Wisconsin, southwestern parts of Michigan, northeastern parts of Illinois, much of Indiana, and the northwestern part of Ohio, which indicates a numerous severe storm threat, level 3, for some strong storms as we head throughout your day today. Slight risks, the yellow surrounding from Michigan down towards Kentucky, looking at being possible some scattered severe storms. And then level 1 indicating a marginal risk for some isolated severe storms. So not as high as anything in the orange or yellow area, but still maybe a chance for a strong storm or two being possible. Now, looking at your main risk areas, what to expect, starting off with the tornado risk, looking quite low at only a 2% risk, but again, we already had that one tornado in Wisconsin, and to try possible, we have another couple tornadoes as we head throughout your day today. So if you're in anywhere in this dark pink highlighted region, I would be on alert, as again, any storm could produce a tornado with given the threat threshold. And looking at the damaging wind threat, looking at a very high threat for that, up to about 30% risk being possible. This is the highest threat out of all three, with the hatch risk indicating potential for wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour with the strongest storms. And unfortunately, this red highlight area does indicate the higher chance for that occurring. So if you're especially in that zone, Indiana, southwestern Michigan, southeastern Wisconsin, northeastern Illinois, you guys are underneath a higher alert for that to occur throughout your day today. So watching out for these one, potential two lines of storms coming through, which could pose that threat for that to occur. Now, looking at your hail threat, a little lower, but still a chance for large hail up to 2 inches, especially in the yellow highlighted area, which indicates a 50% risk of that occurring at this time. Now, as we move towards the dynamics, starting off with the upper level jet, you can tell that you'll see some greens, some yellows, some reds. The yellows and reds indicate where we do have stronger winds aloft. So compared to green, where it's just some lighter winds in the higher atmosphere, the yellows and reds higher up in the atmosphere indicates faster moving winds. And the faster the winds, the more they fuel the storms, as unfortunately these will lead to these storms being quite fast moving. And we've already been seeing that with that first round of storms. We'll see that continue with any lines of storms that do develop later on today. So with this strong upper level jet, this will mean wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour with these storms as they will be moving through along that exact round along that exact ridge. But looking at your temperatures this afternoon into this evening, we do expect temperatures in the 70s to 80s for much of the Midwest, mainly eastern parts of it, as this warm front will be slowly making its way towards the east. But as it does, unfortunately, storms can just ride along this front and will highly impact these areas in this region. Hence why we have that enhanced risk for severe weather, as this front will be increasing that potential. And along with that, temperatures in the 90s to 100s out to our west. And with a lot of this hot air moving into this region, this is just going to fuel more of those storms to continue to develop overall, later on today, which is hence why we do have that split temperatures in the 70s, 80s for eastern parts of Indiana, with temperatures meanwhile in southwestern parts of the state in 90s, even hundreds out towards Iowa, excuse me, and Missouri for your day today. Now, looking at your dew points will be quite humid. Basically, anything above 60 is considered humid. And right now, you're seeing dew points well over 70, which indicates oppressive to sweltering levels of humidity. So, basically, the air is going to feel quite muggy. Basically, it's the air you can wear on you, the air where you walk outside and you're automatically swamped by the humidity. This is the kind of air we're going to be seeing. And unfortunately, the more humid it is, the more intense these storms are going to be, as they'll take advantage of all of this moisture, and that's going to lead to that heightened threat for severe weather. Looking at the CAPE energy, which is their convective potential available energy, which is energy that storms need to take advantage of. And anywhere you see the yellows, reds, and even some of the grays popping up, that's where the threat's going to be the highest risk to occur. And unfortunately, that's going to mean much of the Midwest underneath a high alert for that throughout your day today. So with all this energy being in place, even if storms don't hit, even if this first round doesn't hit, let's say southwestern Indiana and Illinois, you guys will still have a, a lot of energy for any storms to take advantage of if they do develop later on today. Now, looking at what to expect as we head throughout your afternoon and into tomorrow morning, we do expect a couple rounds of strong to severe storms to be likely across the Midwest. The one that's ongoing right now, and then maybe another round later on this evening, according to models, as it does show we could have a second round, mainly impacting looks like Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio later on tonight. You could see that being possible later on today. And then looking at damaging wind threat up to 75 miles per hour, the strongest storms, a couple tornadoes being possible as well. And again, large hail up to 2 inches being possible. And each storm posing the risk for some quick flooding downpours. So you may have a storm cell review for just an hour. It may get 3 inches of rainfall within that short period of time, even though it's fast moving. So don't let your guard down with these storms, even though, again, flood threat's not going to be high up on the list. And in terms of all three risks, damaging wind threat looks to be the best chance of it will be between now and Tuesday morning. So pretty much the next 12 to 15 hours is going to be pretty high. And then with the tornado threat, it will be higher through mid-afternoon. But with the second round of storms coming through, it's going to be mainly a wind threat. So not looking at much tornadoes, but still can't rule out the possible chance of that occurring. With the hail threat, looking at a chance through Tuesday morning, but best chance of this first round of storms coming through right now. The second round may just again bring a wind threat with it, as it does look to be the case at this time. Now, looking at futurecasts, this is now through early evening, excuse me, as we have that first round of storms actually quickly pulling down to the south into Indiana, Michigan. Notice how it just sits over the same areas for the next several hours, meaning very heavy rain falling over the same areas for a couple to several hours, which is not good, as it can lead to again some flooding occurring along that warm front as it's going to be slowly moving off towards the east. Some mortar storms in eastern parts of Michigan going into Canada as well. But as we shift towards early evening into later evening, we will eventually see that thunderstorms hanging around eastern Wisconsin, or southwestern Michigan pulled down to the south into Indiana may bring again gusts up to 75 miles per hour as that line of storms bows down into these areas. So I would be a high alert, especially western Indiana, potentially into eastern Indiana as that line of storms pulls through, and then around developing up here. It looks like in northern parts of Michigan, this will be the second round of storms to watch as we head towards Den. And speaking of that, later this evening into early tonight, that line of storms will bow down into Michigan, bringing again that increased risk for 75 miles per hour wind gusts. Meanwhile, the initial line in Indiana will be pulling down to the south into Kentucky, may fall apart a little bit with some more scattered storms looking to be possible as well behind that first round as well. Maybe tied to the second round, as the second round may pull this system, may pull these storms out towards it and may develop into another line of storms by the overnight hours. And overnight, going to Tuesday morning, that second round of storms moving through Michigan will pull into Ohio, bringing them those severe storms as well. Indiana looks like it may s- escape that second round, but again, I wouldn't rule out the potential for maybe a couple more storms to develop on the tail edge of the system and impact parts of Indiana as well as we head towards the end. But overall, lower threat tonight, but better chance afternoon, evening. Illinois, again, isolated threat for the strong storms, and Michigan, seeing those both rounds of storms overall. But that combined with all that rainfall together as we look towards our rainfall totals by Tuesday morning, we could be talking about anywhere from about maybe almost no rain, such as here in northwestern Ohio, to potentially 4, 5, maybe 6 inches of rainfall around Chicago. It doesn't mean, even though this model is showing this, it does not mean that this is what is exactly expected to happen, but just a estimate of what we could see, as this is only one model, as other models may vary and say maybe Chicago only get 1 inch of rain, and maybe Kalamazoo may get 5 inches of rain. But again, we were looking at again the scatter downpours be likely overall between now and Tuesday morning. So I would say that anyone in this area should expect to see rain at some point between now and with action plan. Again, make sure you have your phones, no radio, laptop, everything charged before storms do arrive. As again, once these storms arrive, they could also bring some power outages as well, as these will be fast moving storms. Make sure you have an extra change of clothes, blankets, shoes to take shelter, especially if you're taking shelter down in your basement or even in the lowest level of your home. I would highly recommend that, especially with these storms coming in later on today. But other than that, make sure you stay safe today and stay weather alert.